for our own practice and for entering competitions and whatnot. So these are some of our designs, actually a lot more. So this one, we starting from 2007, our design, and then until 2020 lah. So actually it's a lot more lah. Then this is some of it lah. Okay. So for today, I will concentrate on our product design development process. Okay. So basically, it's our design process is this lah. Start from project brief, then do design research, idea concept, idea development, 3D mockup, concept surface, concept model, model fix, A-class surface, solid modeling, rapid prototype, ME data production. This is we do directly involve in the design activities lah. After that, we just do minor supports lah on soft tooling, product testing, and hard tooling, assembly, production, assembly, product launch, and customer feedback. So usually we will start with project brief lah. Project brief is where we have our, we call it PMO, our project manager. He will call all the persons involved in the project lah, such as researchers, electrical engineers, software engineers, mechanical engineers, and sometimes the clients. We will have a meeting to brief about the project. So basically we will try to follow this design process. Sometimes we have to jump a few process, but basically this is the standard way of what we are doing. So the PMO or the project manager will give the overview of all this about the project, about how they want the design to look like, and we will take this information and start to do our first is design research lah. Then this is the summary of what we do lah from the diagram just now. So under design research, we have this product positioning. I will go in details by one. I will show some examples lah. We have concept ideas, concept surface, solid modeling, and finally rapid prototyping. And the details lah on each steps. Okay. So the first step, after the project brief, we will start do our research. First step, we try to collect all the existing product which is related to the one that we want to design. So usually we use the internet, Google the image of the existing product in the market now, or sometimes a concept design that we like. Okay, and then all the images we collect. Sometimes we go outside also. We take pictures. We do observation outside, how the product, the existing product works, everything. And then we will collect all the photos and we will arrange it in this 4 quadrant. Maybe the students should do this also lah. This is an example. We call it, this product is an souvenir item. So this one, because the souvenir item is quite broad, the subject is quite broad. So I just minimize shortlist to souvenir items which is vase and elephant. So we put in this 4 quadrant. 4 quadrant is on the top there is minimal and simple. On the bottom is over decorative. On the right is high end. And at the left is low tier. So from the images, we will place where the product is lah. So, and we will have our target location that we do on the Outlook. So the design, the coming design, where we want to put our design in the existing market. Okay. This is another example of product positioning. Maybe if you can see that on the right side is performance outlook. On the left is basic design. On the bottom, functional, which means the outlook looks very functional. And on the top is emotion. So meaning that the product got like emotion, curvy special design lah. Okay, this is another example lah. Simple example for a motorbike design. Okay, we have classic, and then on the left, and then on the right is modern, and then on the top is simple, and then the bottom is sophisticated. So we try to arrange the design in such a way which one is simple, which one looks more modern, which one looks simple and classical, and then which one is sophisticated and classical. So after that, we will target where we want to put our design lah. Okay. Next is our under design research also, we do image panel. Image panel, I think students also do. Sometimes people call it mood board. Okay, so image panel is we have a keyword. Keyword is like this one, for example, is futuristic and functional. Okay, the keyword is, so we will look at other product that have that influence. Not just now, like just now, the product positioning, we use existing design that is related. So this one is not related. It also like the top one is like the product is a lamp. The bottom is an interior design, and then the bottom somewhere is from the movie Tron. So it's it can be anything that you want the final product to look like. Okay, so for this one is futuristic and functional. Okay, I show another sample. Okay, this one is about, it's more to electronic side. We want to make it looks like high tech lah. So for this one, looks we use a very we want to the product to looks like very it's high technology product lah. So this one is another example. We want the product to look modern and ruggedized. Okay, this is an existing product other than the product that we want to develop. For example, this Ford Bongo. I'm not sure I should have meant Bongo. Okay, this it looks ruggedized, more robust and modern. So for the design, we have to select the targeted outlook lah. So and then all these images we will present during our design brief lah, during our ID selection lah. Okay. Then we also come up with the design brief after we have done all this. The design brief is we will tell about what is the specification of the product, the outlook that we want to have. Then the sizes and everything lah. Okay. Next, after the research, we will do our concept idea. So under concept idea, we will do 2D and 3D sketches. This is an example of 2D sketches. Usually for 2D sketches, we use either Alias or Photoshop. Like this one, I'm using Illustrator and Photoshop. Okay. Last time we do a lot of 2D sketches lah. But now, usually we do 3D sketches. For example, is this lah. We come up with the ideas, throw ideas. So three of us, usually Wak, me, and Rohizam, we will contribute ideas lah. We come up with one person about 5, 6 design, and then we compile them together lah. So usually now, I think about 2 years, we already start using 3D as our sketches lah, because it's easier to change color, to do the different angle, and easier to present to our management lah. So that's why we start using 3D, and now rendering also quite fast, and modeling is also quite simple in 3D. So we do 3D sketches now. This is the way lah now. So this is some examples lah on the 2D sketches. Actually a lot lah, it depends on the project. Usually if 3 of us, one come out with 5 ideas, so we have 15 ideas lah, concept ideas. This is some more example of our sketches lah, 3D sketches. Okay. Okay, next is mockups. Sometimes we need to feel the product, how the size. Usually during the product briefing, the electronic people already have the electronics part for it, so we need to see whether it fits in the casing that we do lah. So this is like a simple mockups like we do now. We use 3D printer lah to just print and just to see lah. So the next here is also example of mockup lah. The small one. This one is because the product is quite big, so we do a small mockup for using 3D print. Next, we have all the sketches just now, the 3D and 2D sketches. And then we do this concept selection. This one we usually call the designers, the engineers to get involved lah. And we will vote for 3 best design lah. We will vote. Usually one is the best, the most vote that we got. And then one, the best designer, our designer likes most lah. And then one is the boss likes lah. So usually we have 3 best design lah. From 15, we already shortlisted to 3. This one, we will present the sketches, we will present the research, the product positioning, the images, so that everybody is clear the direction that we want to go lah. Okay, next after the 3 we have selected, the 3 design, we will do detailed concept surface. So detailed concept surface we use usually we have surfacing, we use software surfacing design. This one is Alias, and this one is using Creo software. Creo also we do surfacing. The reason we do all the detailed concept surface is because we want to do the concept models lah. From the 3 design, we will do the models lah, 3 models. So because 3 selected, 3 models. So from the detail, we do these models. Usually we use rapid prototyping like 3D printer or SLS, or sometimes we ask outside to do lah. Depends on the budget, everything lah. This is an example of the concept models lah. So this one is not functional model. It's only for the outlook. So we get the 3 best design models lah. Okay. And then another reason that we do the detailed concept surface is to do 3D digital rendering like this. We will do the best rendering to present to our management team. Okay, this one example lah. So we do the 3D rendering. So this is example also. The best 3D rendering. This is another example. So this is more to our product. This is the 3D rendering that we will present to our management. Like this lah. This is the 3 design that was selected. We do the models and we do the 3D rendering, the best rendering that we do lah. So sometimes if the customer wants to do VR, we also do VR for the product. For example, a big product, we do VR models. So we generate the VR so that during the selection, we will ask the team to view it using VR. Then we have the ID selection. Usually this is where the CEO, the top level management will get in. We will present the 3 models, the 3 rendering, and sometimes they will give their comments and then sometimes they will select. Okay. So if they have select 1 out of 3, we will we call it concept lockdown. So the design is locked. So if the design is already locked, we come up with this document. We issue this, we call it ID concept lockdown. So like this one example, this design is already accepted by the top level or our client. So we come out with this drawing, get their signature on the approved by. So any changes to the design can be it's minimal. So this is the direction that we want to go. After that, we do the solid modeling. Okay, usually from the models, 3D models that we have for the rendering, that one is for rendering and for making models. Now it's more to the production side. So we will do the solid modeling from the surface. We do the thickness, and then we will, at the same time here, we will discuss with the mechanical engineers on where to separate the parts, where the screws going to be. This one looks quite simple, but actually it have a lot of changes usually, because sometimes the screw cannot be here, and then there is some limitation on the molding process. That's why designers have to know how they have the basic knowledge on manufacturing, where we will design based on what, and then we have the ideas on how to separate the part, the top and bottom piece usually, and then we will the data we will pass to the mechanical engineer. So mechanical engineer will put all the and put all the components like screws and how the parts to be assembled. So this is example for a product. We have, and they also will put in the electronics on how the product, and then this process we need to, there are a lot of changes usually, but we will do a lot of discussion with the mechanical engineers, and also sometimes the PC board also a lot of changes from time to time, so it takes time also to get the final product. So after we have the 3D data, the final, we come out with this CMF, which is color material finish. This is a document that to show what is the color, what is the finishing gonna be, So this one usually we will discuss with the designer and the client lah. What we propose and what they want lah. So one,
Okay, Nintang.
okay,
Sorry to disrupt you. Uh, there's some questions in the chat.
okay.
Can
Uh,
we
if
do
I
five minutes? Then we address the questions.
okay, okay. I
Okay.
finish up the okay.
All right. Okay.
So next is rapid prototype. Final prototype we do after finishing everything is already confirmed on the production side. Usually we will run another final prototype which is functional. We will put all the components inside, the screws we use. So this one whether we do it in-house or send it outside. This is another example of final prototype. This is another example where we do in Mimos. This is another example. Okay. Okay. Sometimes the prototype is scale model lah. So like this one, small one. This one is this design for entering completion. And then after all is confirmed, we come up with the ID geometric lockdown. Just now it's a concept lockdown with some minor changes. We come out with the final lockdown lah. So the final design will be like this. This one usually we will include all the graphics also for the design. And then we get the approval from the client lah. And then after everything is okay, we will do ID filing lah, industrial design pattern lah. So in Mimos we have this there is a department called IPMD lah. They do intellectual property management. So we will submit our design to them so that we will they will see whether it is worthy to file or not lah. So they will set up a meeting we have a committee of IP committee lah, we call it intellectual property committee, where the inventor or the designer will have to present on the design, where you have to check whether the design is already in the market or not, whether people already patented it or not. So this is like an example of a product that we similar to what we have, but not exactly the same lah. So we will present to the committee lah whether if they agree or not to patent the design lah. So okay, during the meeting we will present also the function of the product lah. So the novelty of the design is very important there during the IP review lah with the committee, IP committee. So to patent, we need to come up with the drawings lah. Usually these 8 views drawing lah: front view, side view, rear view, bottom view, top view, front isometric. We will provide all. The IP department will arrange the agent where they will see lah whether we want to patent all these views or not lah. Okay. So this is an example. Just now is the shaded model. This one is outline model. So I want outline drawing. This one is shaded drawing. We will give this to the IP department lah. This is what we need to provide lah. And after we submitted, after the IPC review meeting, if it's approved, then in Mimos we have a reward system where the inventor will get some rewards lah, money rewards. Okay, that's it lah. I think for this is what the product development process in Mimos.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
That the fundamental of industrial design that we have been learning, and studying all this while is very alive in Mimos. From we see the actual the raw industrial design there.
Yeah.
There's some questions. I think I will summarize some of the somewhat related questions.
Mm-hmm.
People are asking, what is the? Can you speak on the inspiration and element behind when you are finding any concepts for your design in Mimos, the practice in Mimos?
Oh, okay. Inspiration. Okay. We have three designers in Mimos, and then we are we are very into design lah. So we are we try to talk about design a lot. Usually, when something new comes out, whether it's a new car or new design, we will talk a lot about the design, like what we don't like, what we like about the design. Inspiration, everybody, like three designers within me, Wa and Roizam, everybody have their own identity lah, I think, because this design, we know that like what design is something like this and my design is something like this. And then sometimes I get inspiration from looking at our natural environment. I go outside and then I like movies, so I see a lot of movies, but now cannot lah. So I get a lot of inspiration looking at good design lah. To me lah, I will see what a design, what I like about it. I will talk about it, and then I will try to apply that design to my design. That's about me lah. Maybe Wah and other designers
Is
different.
there any specific, maybe general one that the Mimos is looking at? Is it futuristic, or if it's not individually
Okay.
by designer?
In Mimos, we have our design DNA lah. We have a slide on it lah actually. Our DNA, there is we call it we have the three direction lah. Okay, first is it has to be high tech. Uh, so meaning the design have to look high tech, and then we have trendy. The design have to be looks at the same level at the standard now lah. It's not at the back lah. So it's not going backwards lah. The design have to be forward lah, trendy and futuristic lah. The first one is futuristic, looks very high tech, and the second one is trendy, and then the other one is we have this orthogonal shape that we try to apply in our design lah. So this basic DNA we will apply in our design.
Right. Okay, I think there's one last question. I think is somewhat related, perhaps. Oh, there's another new one, but okay, let me address this one first. What is the best way to design a product to follow, so that you follow current industry, the fast pace of current industry now? How do you catch up? I guess the question is.
Oh, how do we catch up? Good question. How do we catch up?
I have
Okay.
your personal view on that.
Okay, I think like in technology is very fast. Okay, it's we have this technology come out very fast lah. Okay, like if you see other products also like tablet or handphones, right? They are very fast in the development of technology, but in design, I think design is a bit slower compared to the technology itself lah. So we can be at the par lah. So how to say?
Okay. I guess that's a fair
Uh,
answer. In terms of design
it's
it's quite
it's not
subjective in one
it's
sense.
not
So
as fast as technology lah.
yeah,
So you see the design is, there are a lot of changes, but the technology is faster lah.
okay, all right. So one final question. I think this is by Encik Asri. I think this is
Hello
one
Astrid.
question. I
My
think this is
sifu ah. Okay. What's the question?
the most successful design that has successfully been commercialized and created an impact on the values of the investing in the design. I think maybe it's related to Mimo's product, I guess, Encik Asri.
Ah,
So what is that
Mimo's
one
product.
product that is successful?
Mimo's product. The most
Hmm.
successful Mimo's product. Uh, the most successful Mimo's product. Okay. If you want to see our product in the market, it's quite rare lah, because the most successful one is our last time our YY technology is it's actually older than Wi-Fi.
Hmm.
It's a usually there is wireless technology last time, and then Mimos come out with the YY technology before Wi-Fi coming.
Hmm.
So that product was quite successful. Last time you can see that router, that our design in almost every coffee shop lah, like Starbucks, like San Francisco. But that technology is already that technology itself lah, like I said, technology itself is already outdated. Now after we have Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi was championed by the outsiders lah, by foreigners company.
Hmm.
That design is already obsolete lah, actually.
Yeah.
That product is already obsolete. That is our successful product lah. But at least for Mimos, for myself, last time I used to design one hand bidet that was sold millions. If you
Mhm.
see outside there, a lot of it lah. Okay.
Especially overseas. I think we spoke about that before. Yeah,
Okay.
so I guess Mimos is also not just you in Mimos you guys are not just producing uh, um, a consumer product and consumer products. You are doing also
We do
most of your clients, right? So you're
usually not for consumer product lah. For
yeah,
not for retail.
yep,
We do for the technology.
yeah,
The technology industries will take it lah,
yes.
usually.
Okay, so thank you, Cik Nizam. We are very thankful. And for those who don't know, Cik Nizam is my super senior, I guess, super senior. So we have coming up after this. After this, we have another speaker. But before that, on behalf of
Let's
IDC,
shout out lah. Okay.
all right, on behalf of
Let's
IDC,
shout out.
okay,
What IG and our Mimos Industrial Design IG.
okay.
Okay.
Can you post it in the chat? All right. Oh
Okay.
no, it's in front. Yeah, okay. All right.
In my presentation.
Okay, it's
All
in
right.
the presentation. Later on we'll repost also, so everybody follow. And if you have question, you can bring it over there. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Person who will be speaking is also a senior, but she's my immediate senior. So we have a few age groups here. I will be introducing the next speaker. Is Kak Muna, are you ready? Okay, there she is. Okay, let me introduce Kak Muna. I call her Kak Muna fondly. Right? So Munawira received her bachelor degree from University of Technology Mara in 2003. So while serving the industry, she completed her master's degree and graduated in 2010. And a large portion of her industry experience was as merchandising solution provider, where she worked on concept development, industrial graphic design, prototyping, manufacturing, distribution, installation, as well as having a hands-on in dealing within the merchandising, exhibition, retail, and interior environment. So with almost 18 years of work under her portfolio, Kak Muna Dyson Malaysia Design Center, specifically as their graphic and packaging operation engineer. So without further ado, I pass the screen to Kak Muna. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Cik Munawira Elias.
Okay, thank you, Natrina. Okay, in my slide of presentation, I want tell a story lots of the processes and the technologies that we are doing in the manufacturing, because as you guys know, in manufacturing it's confidential for every companies. So what that I'm going to share here is just my small journey after graduating from UiTM Shah Alam in the industry. Next slide, please. So after my graduation, I work in a company that called ABC Image Builders, which is a company that merchandising solution providers, where is that related closely with point of purchase items, merchandising solutions, from concept development, industrial and graphic design, prototyping, manufacturing, and distributions and installations. Next slide, please. So what is point of purchase? It is a term that used by marketeers and retailers, planning the placement of consumer products. For example, product design strategically placed in a grocery store aisle or advertised in a weekly flyer or leaflet. Similar to this term of point of sales, which is the point at the customers purchases and pays for products from a website or a store checkout, like Harvey Norman and etc. So POP is the area of that surrounds with the POS, where customers often encounter promotional activities or other products. Next. So here are some photos of the visual of the examples point of purchase, which is that wherever that you entered in every supermarket or shopping malls, you will actually the design, the POP is in front of you, but we didn't notice it before. So these are the POP is trying to steal every single spaces that are available in the mall or in the space to show their branding. So that will consume on the brand awareness. So like for example, the shelf display, so it's a pop-up with a wobbler and etc. Just to get an attention from the customer to purchase or to attract them to their products. Next, please. So with the previous company, I share with you one of the exhibition booth that we worked together last time with Nippon Paint, whereas Nippon Paint is the main sponsor for the home deck exhibitions that held in KLCC Convention Center. So this one is the promotional booth that they are launching a new Nippon Paint orderless. So where that we wanted them to explore the paint, not only the odorless smell of that paint, but they also can play with the colorful paint that Nippon offered to end users. So next, please. So around the booth, we also come up with the design and concept, project managing, productions, and we build the structure, everything on site for the end users to have that feel in the environment. They can touch the wall, feel the paint, giving a live experience. So this kind of category is meet with the point of purchase point of view, that the objective that we wanted customer to experience and explore the end product. So part of it also can give some ideas. So these are my teams before that we work on the exhibitions. Next, please. Later on, I left the company after 7 years and got better offer with Dyson, which is based in Johor, southern of Malaysia. So Dyson Malaysia Development Center is the second branch from the headquarters based in Malmesbury, UK. So as what that like Mr. Nizam presented earlier from his field, that he's come up with the concept drawings, concept ideas, and what other customers want. So that kind of concept is basically done in UK. So what is functioning here in Malaysia, it is that we are developing from the concept towards manufacturing items. Next slide, please. So with the concept that we receive, we have many engineers in Johor itself, whereas we have around 1,000 staff with us, and 800 of them are engineers in a lot of divisions like PCB engineering, manufacturing engineering, material, painting, and etc. There's many of them. Okay, my career with the company is I'm starting to join with them as a graphics coordinator and traffic executive because of my my past experience with ABC Image Builders, doing point of purchase and merchandising, and doing a lot of project management. So then I've changed my designation as the marketing communication executive to support a lot of internal launch, internal development, such as like we are developing a new building or a new stakeholders in Singapore, in Philippines, and also in another part of Malaysia as well. So when there's a new building, so graphics must fill up this empty space of the wall. So that's come to my part to help to beautify the building. Next, please. Sorry. After I'm doing all the internal communication projects, so I've been absorbed to another team in the graphic and packaging to support on their manufacturing items, which is production line graphic materials. Okay, what is that? Okay, in here, I just want to explain simply, just briefly, what is manufacturing and what is development center. Manufacturing is a process of raw materials and parts that finish good through to the use of tools, human labor, machinery, and chemical processing. So large scale of manufacturing allows for the mass productions of goods using assembly line processes, and advanced technologies are as a core assets. So you can see there's a lot of factory in around the world. There's a huge plantation on that. So the development center is a day of a number where the participants are actively involved in the assessment of their own and others' behaviors as part of their professional development. For example, the separation engineering. So they are focusing on the separating the debris for the vacuum cleaner. So they are studying the performance of the motors that indicated
it's 3 o'clock.
Machines, and whichever that failure that we have found out with our testing, so we have to encounter and troubleshoot on the what cause of the failure of the product. So we need to come up with some solutions and some other options of the material, whether is the quality of the cost of the material or the chemical itself. So it's a lot of factors that we need to look into that. Next, please. Here I share you some one of example the testing that we did here in Johor. So as you can see, there's a lot of machines that we have all the jigs and everything being setting for testing of the material and the sustainability of our product to ensure that it's robust and strong enough. So meaning that it's worth buying for the products that can easily break. Okay, now move on the current position of mine with the company now. The position now, I'm in graphics and packaging department, which is I will be responsible to support for the NPI, NPD projects and also the CPM SKU expansions. For example, that we have the V11 Dyson vacuum that we wanted to produce for Europe market and also for the Far East, which is covers for Hong Kong, Singapore, and etc. So each country, they have their own regulations and they have their own compliances, either EMCs or safety compliances, legal requirement. So we have to encounter all the points that and the details that we need to apply to the packaging. Because when we wanted to ship out all our materials to each or to any country, so some regulation we must declare, and we have the license to market our product to certain countries. For example, as what we know that whichever or any products you wanted to sell it here in Malaysia, we must the product itself must have a Serie sticker, which means that it's already been approved by Serie and that the product is safe enough to use. So that are the things that we are dealing with, and we are preparing all the information in the box and the operating manuals and the quick start guide and etc. The graphics items is as well, it's communicating with the end users. So once you saw the product, you see the packaging, wow, there's a lot of information you can find there. So once you purchase the product, you can see everything inside there. Okay, next please. Okay, in graphics team, I am responsible, and the team also is responsible to that use in manufacturing of the product. The operation is split between UK and Malaysia. So UK will do all the concepts. Wherever that we have a new projects coming in, so they are come out with they will involve in NPD and NPIs. So what are the things that need to prepare for that machine itself? Then UK will play the strategic role in delivering those items, and then we, the Malaysia team, will play the tactical parts, which means we got already the approved parts that they already firm, like side off. With that design must have this item and that item and etc. So then we expand it and meeting up all the requirements that each country and market required. Next, please. So the responsibles that I've been doing with the company is quite a number. So I won't read it here because it's too much. But actually, the position here now is actually open with Dyson. So if you have any interest, you wanted to try your luck to join with the Dyson family, you can open up with our career website that you can see from link below, careers@dyson.com. So maybe some are not necessary only on graphic parts that related to you. Maybe you have some experience on another field like in engineering or testing, so you can try out with your skills. Next, please. So I'm just showing some examples or samples that the list that we need to be prepared before we can release out to before we can start on production, SOP we call it. So these are the list, we call it is a PLGM list, production line graphic material, that you can see a country SKUs naming or the X projects and where it will be built. Like we have 2 manufacturings in Malaysia and also in Philippines. I've been to Philippines and once to see their manufacturing SOP in supersonics, all the hair products. So it's quite impressive. And you can see there's a boxes, operating manual, leaflet, the Dyson storybook, and also some, you can see on the right side of the images, we have a lot of stickers and the QSG. QSG stands for Quick Start Guide. It's actually a guide for you to see the product. Okay, it will guide you how are you going to use or to switch on the machine. And you can see there's a battery stickers that which is required globally that we need to declare and we need to paste on every of our products packaging. So if the battery logo is not appeared in our packaging or in our graphic parts, we will not able to sell our product to that country and we will lose millions of money. And on the right side, on the middle section of it, you can see the tempos. Tempos is very important because once we have the engineer team have come up with the product, so we need to beautify their product with the tempos, which is not easily to tear off. Okay. So next. Sorry, the PLGM sheet is the buy-off list. Buy-off list, which means that in my part, I need, or my team, we need to sign off before they can start for SOP. If we are not signing off, means that we are not agreed to purchase that, they aren't able to start any SOP, so we cannot sell out the products, right? Okay, next, the category of the SKUs that we are developing in Dyson that we have is the two type of category. One is B2C. B2C is business to customer or consumer. So where that you can just walk into Dyson flagship store, or you can walk into the Harvey Normans or to Sangham, you can see there's one small section with Dyson products. So these are the products easily you can purchase by yourself. All right. So next slide, please. So the other category is the B2B, business to business, that which is the numbers of a high volume or high value of the products. For example, like the hand dryer. So we are not going to sell hand dryer to a personnel or an individual because it's quite expensive, and also it costs a lot of requirement to do that. Usually it will be purchased by the interior of the company or the architectures to apply the product into their design. For example, like you can see in McDonald's. So a lot of new McDonald's retail outlets, they also have indicated the air blade. Same goes to TGV and some other places that you can find they have already implemented. All right, next. So these are the examples of the packaging, the corrugated boxes itself, and also the graphics that we are working on. This is what I'm doing it now. And once we have indicated all the information in the box, we have to submit to a lot of parties around the globe. For example, that we need to send for the to commercial team, to the compliances team, to the IP for our copyright team, and etc. There's a lot of parties that have to be involved to ensure everyone is agreed and approved. Then only we can release this artwork. So it's quite challenging, you know. Next, please. And this one, some of other samples of packaging as well. This one is for the, I guess that you guys are familiarized with the our hair care unit. The middle one is the Coral, the Supersonic, and also the, I can't remember what the other one name. There's a lot of products now. Okay, next please. Oh, these are the teams that I've been working with them throughout the years, and a lot of sweat, tears, crying, and yeah, there's a lot of things. But alhamdulillah, we managed to go through together, even though there's a lot of obstacles, but they are very supportive to our team member. Then yeah, I'm so far I'm very happy to work with the company. with my small of experience in point of purchase and industry design. Next, please. Related back to my past experience. So from the items, the machines or the products that we manufactured and selling out, so everything will be landed here and then in the flagship store. This is one of the example that you can go and experience. So this is also part of point of purchase that that Dyson represented to the end users and the customers. So it will attract the consumers to go in and then purchase the products. Next, please. So these are some of the end users experiences with the products. You can play around with their machines until it's spoiled, but don't worry, it won't be spoiled there. Next, please. And another platform of the point of purchase, you buy online purchase, so you can log into the Dyson.my and you can buy anything online. Just pay online because during the MCO we cannot simply go to stores and buy. So these are the another alternative that nowadays people are start buying the products. Next, please. Before we play the last video that I want to share, actually that James Dyson, he actually is an industrial design background, so he love with his staff that he met that from industrial design background, because he knows what we are struggling to go through in the industry. So maybe the video is just I'm hoping that the video is inspiring everyone not to give up in industrial design right after you're studying or in your career, because as you can see, he is now 70, I think 77 or 78, almost 80 years old, but he is still fighting and go through with his dream to come out more on his product. So you can play. Yeah. So maybe we have some sound system problem.
We cannot have the audio, but maybe it's a short video. It's only 1 minute plus, right? Maybe Kak Muna can just tell us what is the in that short video, what was it conveying?
It's not what Jason wanted to say, that don't give up in what you are pursuing your career in industrial design. But it's not only designing a concept product to sell your ideas, but you can do something that after the product is there, you can be in manufacturing, developing line, or towards the end, or even though if not you are related in the manufacturing, you also can be on the end product design, like point of sales, point of purchase, which is that you can emphasize or you can embark more, shout out more of the products as a brand awareness to end user or customer. So it's not only specifically in one particular area, which is that your journey is a long way, much more to go, and you can explore in any type of any direction in the industry. So like for me, that doing designing like 3Ds, as what Mr. Gizan present just now, doing CAD drawings and doing rendering, is not my forte, to be frank that. But during for the past 18 years, I've been working with these two companies in these two different areas. Alhamdulillah, what did I find that I am more, my forte is more towards on design management or project management, which is I know I have the basic backgrounds of the industrial design, so I know what is the process of that, and I know how to come up with the artworks or the CAD drawings or what are the possibilities and the processes. So with that kind of experience, I applied into my planning. So with my planning and the deadlines that been given, I know when I need to push to ensure what the target and the objective that need to meet in certain deadline. So there's a lot of challenges now, because we are not working only a one person in the industry. We have to work in a team, and we have to work with our stakeholders around the global, or with your clients, or with your contractors, with your suppliers, because along the way they are teaching you as well. They are not condemning you, they are teaching you, because they are dealing with the life project, and it's everyday lessons for us. So I hope that for um, our friends and fellows here, not to give up.
The to suggest that she can speak on this, because our aim is to let current students, or even those who have graduated, see that with the knowledge that you gain from industrial design, you can actually go a lot of ways. So not everybody will end up doing pure product design. Not everybody will end up doing automotive design, but the options are endless. Can you speak on Kak Mona? Maybe you can share how the experience moving from a smaller point of purchase company to a to Dyson. So is there any difference in terms of uh, your experience? Perhaps you can share a little.
Uh, it's actually like you are from a small school in a village, and then you got an offer to go to these huge universities in this super modern huge building. So when I first joined the company, I only have some knowledge on design and project coordinations, but they are hiring me because they are expanding to expanding on the point of purchase opportunity in the business to help our stakeholders for cost savings. So which is like, for example, for flyers and leaflets for the academy launch or the product launch in Japan. So they wanted to print 100,000 quantities of leaflets in Japan, but the cost is massively expensive. It can cost millions of GBPs or USD, I can say so. So we are looking on other options, the same artworks, the same material, but print locally in Malaysia. So with the cost that we print locally in Malaysia, until the production, printing, shipping, and custom clearance in Japan, we found out we can save at least 30 to 40% of the costs that they have to spend if they are print locally. So that's where that I have to learn a lot of in cost analysis, material and the suppliers, the printers capabilities, and etc. So it's part of the problem that we need to find the solutions for our stakeholders or our end users.
That's a brilliant example of it's not it's a very significant saving actually, and also if we look at it on a broader picture, it saves the environment or the air flight, having to print here and then sending it off somewhere else. So when talking about big contribution to industry, I was telling her why small, because I think every designers play an important role, especially in a big company. And just before the webinar started, you were speaking to Cik Nizam, and Cik Nizam was asking if you know an engineer, and you say there's 880 engineers.
800 engineers.
So
Up to 1,000 staff.
so yeah, you may feel small, but actually you are contributing to the bigger picture. So I have some, I think, is it question? Yeah, there is some question here. And also a comment by Cik Astri. Congratulations, Cik Muna. Hopefully this is an eye-opener. For he feels that this is the most neglected part of product design in packaging and POP, and they are at least they are the last salesman of the marketing chain actually. And industrial design is most needed at this point, as it is the combination of 3D graphic design, 3D graphic design and brand. Because he's personally involved in this. There's one question. How many in-house graphic designers are there in Dyson?
To be specific for graphic designers, we have in-house actually 6 in Malaysia. In Dyson. In Malaysia only 6, but in graphics and packaging department we have actually 40 plus. Because under graphics and packaging department we split into 3 divisions. One is the packaging engineer development, which is they are involved, they are responsible to come up with a packaging design to protect our product, and then they need to do a test, a drop test, and then they need to stimulate the product in the packaging, and we fill up into a big cubicle, and we rumble up the cubicle to see how long the timing, maybe 24 hours straight or 1 week straight. And then once the period of time of testing is complete, the packaging engineer will take out and see which are the parts of the machines damaged. So from there we know, okay, this part we need to further enhance, we need to further develop. How are we going to protect at this particular area to ensure it's fully protect the product? Because why are we doing that? To rumble up in the huge cubicle? Because most of our products, we produce all Dyson machines here in Malaysia, and we export out to global. And with high demand that we have in Malaysia, we have to expand the manufacturing plants in Philippines. So which is Philippines, they are supporting for our Flocas vacuum cordless, and also the hair care, which is Supersonics and Corel, if I'm not mistaken. So to support the business, the demand of the market. So by shipping in sea, if there is the weather is not that good, because the ocean is killing us, so the product will rumble up. So when the container arrive at the port and arrive to the warehouse, when they open up the product, it must be safe. If not, it is damaged or damaged during the transportation or during shipping, so that is a packaging failure. So we are failed to protect the product.
Okay, there's one more last question in the chat box. With your line of work, do you ever cross path with the industrial design team with Dyson?
Yes. Some of them they did came visit us in Malaysia, and James Dyson himself also visit us in Malaysia every year, 2 times a year. But now he will be here much closer because he already bought a place in Singapore, and he'll be staying in Asia because of the Brexit. Most of the times that we are having the MS chat or MS meetings with the UK team, the industrial team, whether either they are from the design engineering who are developing on the product itself, or the industrial design background involving on the packaging. And there's a lot of areas that there's a lot of backgrounds, and there's a lot of department in their specialized, their own specialty that we have to work with them. So working alongside with them to achieve one objective, to resolve this one small problem, is very important and very critical to us in manufacturing, because the time is not will be with us, the technology is running, is very fast, so we have to further enhance and fully speed ourselves to catch up.
Right. it's nice to see that even to the very last process of the design, they actually emphasize on user experience, even in packaging. You know, now with MCO, people are buying online and they come, the package all crushed up. So, I think we can have a little bit, since you are here, maybe you can speak a little on the Dyson Award and to those maybe we have some students here if they're interested when what they could do. What is the Dyson Award? Just a short introduction.
Okay, every year James Dyson Award. We will launch James Dyson Award yearly. Open up for all students and any graduate students up to 4 years. So if you are graduating in 2019 and 2021 this year, you still can submit your projects. But you must liaise back with your lecturers or your supervisors in faculty or in the university that you want to join this competition, because we wanted to encourage all the students with their brilliant ideas, with new fresh ideas, new solutions, and new innovations from our youngsters to come out, and we wanted to expand. We wanted to give a platform for the students to show, hey, this is what I got. So it's actually an opportunity for the students to show to people around the world that you have something that people never thought of that. Okay, for example, that if one of the or the winners of the product, we announce the winner, James Dyson, he himself selected. Okay, the sustainability award goes to somebody. So we will not take the design, we will not take that your work as ours. No, James Dyson, he wanted to show up to people, give a platform for you guys to show that you have this innovation. So it's a platform of opportunity. Other companies, other big companies will contact you, that they have an interest to call you and to join them. So it's a big opportunity for you guys actually.
That's nice. Also, is it if they're interested, they can directly contact you, yeah? Is
They
that
can
possible?
contact me, or they can like I can so this Zakia Hassan, nanti Puan Zakia shared the website, the James Dyson Award. Yeah, you can read through inside there. So what are the objective and what are the past contestants that you can see some of their designs that they are submitted around the world. It's not only for Malaysia. The level of the competition we will evaluate under Malaysia, and then we will evaluate from SEAs in between Singapore, Malaysia, and Philippines. Then we selected for top 20s, and then we will submit. Sorry, top 10, and then we will submit to top 20s in globally. From that top 20, James Dyson, he himself will select who is the winner that he thinks that thing is innovative.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Kak Una, Cik
No.
Una. And I think later at the end of this talk, I will summarize and see how the three speakers tie up actually. And thank you. And please don't think that your contribution is small, you know. But I let you have that topic also if you want it. Okay. So thank you. I'll catch up with you later, Kak Una.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much, all.
Right. So next up, I invite is Dina here? Dina, are you here? I saw you come in. Dina, are you ready? Let me check. There you are. Hi, Dina. I haven't seen you in so long. Hi.
Yeah, so good to see you.
Chatting, we haven't seen you. Thank God for no, we cannot. This is not a good. It's like a silver lining, but it's All right, Dina. Welcome. And those of you, this is Dina. So as I said just now, we have a few generations of speed of mind, and then Munawira, Cik Muna, Kak Muna, I was an immediate senior, and here Dina was my student. So she's quite young, but she's going places, she's everywhere. So she'll be sharing with you and another interesting take on design. You will see later on how we are trying to tie up the reasoning for all our speakers. Let me introduce Dina first, okay, before I pass it to her. So Dina A. Amin is a stop motion artist and a maker from Cairo, Egypt. She completed her Bachelor's of Art with honors in industrial design here in Malaysia in UiTM. Although trained as a product designer, Dina loves to explore the intersection between various disciplines. In 2016, Dina started a side project called Tinker Friday on Instagram, where she combined her passion for product design and stop motion with her views on consumerism. In this that they throw away in very unusual ways. Dina continues to tinker, making new items out of old ones, constantly telling stories and showing people things in completely different way. So after discovering her love for stop motion, Dina also founded Tinker Studio, where she produces stop motion videos for diverse clients and companies around the world. So without further ado, I pass the screen to Dina. Dina, go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much. Terima kasih. I remember few words. Thank you. I'll share my screen now. Let me see. Wait, sorry.
Okay, it's showing.
Okay, it is shown. Okay, hi everyone.
It is still opening though.
Oh, still opening? Okay, I'll just wait. Let me know if it doesn't play or anything.
It's not.
No?
Doesn't seem to be playing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Miss Dina, you need to show the slide, but you cannot open the Gmeet because you share the window.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
Let me see to share your entire screen. So you won't be able to see
I
us.
did.
Oh, you did. Okay, try again.
Can you see anything now?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah, okay. Good. I did the same thing. I don't know why. Okay. So hi. Eventually. So as Nati introduced, I am a stop motion animator and a maker now. And this all happened by complete accident. After I finished studying, I went back to Egypt and by complete accident, I started a side project called Tinker Friday on Instagram, where I showed people what's inside the things they throw away in very different way. So this is one of the examples I did. This is, the mobile covers. They were like an accessory long time ago. They still exist, like they're thrown away, but they still exist in our world. And this is what's inside it. Yeah, so I used to take products apart and transform them into characters. And I didn't know anything about animation. I didn't own a camera or know how to use any of this. I would just take products apart. I just knew the basic idea of stop motion, that you need to take a photo, then move your object, take a photo, move your object, take a photo, move your object. And I just wanted to take all the ideas out of my head and actually present them and make something out of it. But I had no clue what stop motion was. This is also from the series. I kept doing this for a year and a half. And this is another thing that I took apart. This is the last one I did in that series. It's a doll head, and that's what's inside. Yeah, so how did this all start actually? After I finished my study at UITM and then I went back to Egypt, I worked for a bit as a product design researcher in a company for a year. And then I just started working in so many random jobs, not even related to product design. And I thought, it's okay, I want to explore more. And I loved designing with, or like taking things apart, especially trash, all the things that people throw away. And I used to go to a scrap market we have here in Egypt, in Cairo, called the Friday Market. And I pick broken items from there. And I really, really loved product design, but I also hated the realistic part of it, that in real life, especially in a country like Egypt, most of the things that we design end up being thrown away, unfortunately. This is the eventual destiny of it. And I really did not like that. So I kept working in different fields. I worked as a graphic designer. I worked as a social media manager until one day I really I lost track of what I want to do or what I love, or because I really, really loved product design. And one day I decided that I'm going to stop doing that. I'm just going to stop working in whatever is an opportunity in Egypt and really focus on what I want to do. And I don't know how it made sense to me, but I at that time I decided that I wanted to only do the thing I love the most. If I had like all the time in the world and I was chosen to just do one thing all the time, it would be taking products apart and learning what's inside. Because I remember in the very first semester at UITM, we had a reverse engineering project. And I really enjoyed taking this project. We took a flashlight apart and I learned like all the pieces inside and how it goes back together. And it felt like I really appreciated the work of product designers when I did that. And I'd see like how everything fits in together and how it's manufactured and all that. So I decided to do just that. And I had a box of junk, of things that were broken that I collect from family and friends and from the scrap market. And I decided that every Friday, because it's the weekend in Egypt, I would pick one of these objects and I would take it apart and study it and learn how it's made, what's inside it, how it works, why is it broken usually, why do people throw it away. And I did this while I was working, like this was a side project. And I love documenting my projects, so I thought I would put it on Instagram and just see how this will progress. I really had no idea that I will end up doing this. I thought I would be redesigning one of these products. So I would do a whole research about it, and every Friday I would present it as just still images of what's inside and just write in the caption like all the things I found out about it. And slowly people started to follow this project. And it's it started to change. One day I was taking apart this shaver, and I loved, like, it was like a complete puzzle of how everything fits in. And I really wanted to show how much effort and thinking goes into this by product designers. So I remember this thing called stop motion, because I've watched like movies like Coraline and things like that. And I made this animation. This was the first one I ever did. I just wanted people to see how everything come together somehow, and all the pieces that are really inside. So I made this with just my mobile phone with the slideshow app, and I took like 500 photos and made like a 1-minute video. And then when I put it on Instagram, back then it only allowed 15 seconds animations, or like videos in general. So I had to make it faster. So I just went on Google and wrote stop motion speed, something like that. And then I found out that there's something called frame rate, which I had no idea, frame rate per second, which means how many photos you take per second to convey the movement. And usually stop motion is made on 12 or 24 frames per second, which is called ones or twos, which means like if I want to move my hand from here to here in 1 second, then I need 12 photos to be able to show that movement in a second. I was like, okay, interesting. There's actually a lot about stop motion that I didn't know. It's not just about just randomly moving things. So I decided to do this every week. I would take one product, take it apart, and animate it in a way until week after week. I named this project Thinker Friday. One of my followers actually named it that. And week after week, I started seeing faces in the pieces, and I would develop characters like this one. And the week after week, things kept developing. Like I would just make a flat character, and then week later, characters became more detailed, they became more 3D, and my animations became more elaborate. And I learned new things every week about stop motion, and that's how I taught myself stop motion. So like this one. Yeah, so I kept doing this for a year and a half, and with no clue, like until recently, I now call myself an animator, but I was so convinced that this was just a phase and I'm gonna be a real product designer. But around like after 6 months of me playing around, I started getting companies asking me to make videos for them as well, until now I have a stop motion studio in Egypt, and I'm working with companies all over the world making this style of videos. And this is I'm going to show you some of my work from last year. This was done for a company called iFixit in US, and they're like a Wikipedia of information on how to fix your broken product. So it really aligns with my beliefs as well. So it was really great to work with them. And this is the animation I created for them. So we did a series of videos where we let people guess how many pieces are inside these products. And then I did this compilation just to raise awareness of what actually is inside the things that people throw away. And because I usually got people telling me, commenting that they actually have no idea how things work, or even the things that they use on a daily basis, they have no idea. They never imagined that there will be so much things inside, and there's actually a lot of effort and thinking that goes into designing and making all these products. And this is the behind the scene of it, because you would just be seeing like some photos, but there's actually a lot of designing and making that is involved in stop motion animation. Like for example here, how I animated, you see like how it's lifting up in the air. It's rested on something called a rig in stop motion. It's like the apparatus that holds your object or a puppet or whatever you're animating up in the air. Try to show it to you, like this one. And this is one that I made myself, and it allows me to move my object up or down and animate it in each photo. And it's in every project, it's kind of like this. You have to problem solve how you're gonna make this video, and there's a lot of making that is involved in it in the process. This is another commission I got to animate. It was for Chris Coyer. He has a company called CSS Tricks, and he wanted an intro for his video tutorials, and this is what we made. So he's a web developer, and he wanted just a short intro. I also don't make just animations. When I decided that, okay, I'm not really a product designer now, but I'm also not really an animator. But now I am. Like I am fully a professional animator now, but back then. So I decided just to ditch titles, the whole thing, and do whatever I want. If I want to animate something, I will. If I want to make art, I will. If I want to design a product, eventually I will. If I want to cook, I will. And I just do whatever. I just want to share my ideas and make people see things in different ways. So this was a commissioned project where I got to work with electronics and animate and bring to life one of my animations. So this is a real piece. It's called Hi. And I got to work with the sensors and make it actually be animatable in real life when you wave to it. And this is the process, but I'm not gonna show the whole thing. But I really learned in the last few years that I did a big mistake, like when I started doing stop motion, and I thought that I'm gonna now, like, the product design part of me is done, it's over, and now I'm gonna be an animator. And that was such a big mistake, but because now me, Dina, as an animator, product design is a big part of my work, and this is what differentiates me from all other stop motion animators, because I have this way of looking at products and animating them in ways that no one ever did. Like this book. So for this animation, and this is like just a personal thing I usually do, like many personal videos. And for this one, I wanted to animate a book in a different way, but I didn't want to do turn it into a character where I just place eyes and mouth on it and make it talk. So I know how books are made, and what pieces are in it, and how I manipulate the parts of it and make it talk. So I found the world of book folding, and I started folding so many books. This is called replacement animation and stop motion, where you fold, where you have different iterations of your object, and then you replace them one by one to make them appear as if it's moved. So I folded all these different shapes of mouse from old used books that I got from a scrapbook market that we have here in Egypt. Not scrap, it's called used book market. And I folded them in different shapes and I would replace them. So that's how it actually talks, the book. And I found out that I'm not like the only product designer who made the switch to stop motion animation. Many product designers actually do this because there's a lot of manufacturing and fabrication that is involved in stop motion. And now I'm going to show you like the many departments that you can work in on a bigger scale. Even if on a smaller studio, you would be doing things like that. But on a much bigger scale, like for movie productions and big even advertisement productions, you would have different departments like this. So to be able to do character animations, you would have a metal skeleton inside the puppet called an armature. And this armature allows you to animate your puppet and make it pose in so many different ways. And this is a very, for like bigger productions, like this is from a Leica movie called Missing Link. I think it was made last year, or no, 2 years before. And the armatures are very well engineered, and usually product designers and industrial designers work on them. There's a lot of 3D modeling that is involved and a lot of mechanics. So for example, for this one, they wanted to animate the belly of the Bigfoot. So they made a mechanism where you can actually move the belly by hand. So in that case, you're not like, think of it, if you're a product designer, you're designing something for the mass, for people to use, but this one you're designing for an animator to be able to move the character. So usually product designers sit with animators and then they would tell them how they want to move the puppet, and it's a very long process where they manufacture the inside skeleton of the puppet itself. And there's, even if it's on a very complex scale or a very basic scale, there's a lot of fabrication that is involved, like model making and a lot of things. So I actually use a lot of the skills that I learned in UITM, all the model making techniques and even vacuum forming and all these techniques are used. I actually went and visited Aardman Animations in UK. They're also like the second biggest stop motion company in the world, doing like the movies of Shaun the Sheep and all this. And I saw it's a lot of people work there, like hundreds and hundreds of people. And one of the props maker making really tiny things, he made like small bottles, really small stuff. And I asked him like exactly like the real bottle. And he told me that he actually made his own vacuum forming machine, like a mini one, where he can vacuum form very small scale stuff. So it was really pretty cool. Yeah, so for example, this is an armature, like the wire skeleton inside a very small puppet. And this you don't actually get to see like at the end, but inside all these puppets and objects that you move, you need to rig them. This is what's called rigging, like be able to actually make your doll or whatever you're animating move and pose in different photos. There is also a lot of 3D printing that is involved and modeling in companies like Leica, and they are the ones who invented this, where they would play this for you. they would print different facial expressions for the puppets, and they would replace them in shots, and that's how the faces actually move. So there is a lot of tech that is involved in stop motion animation, and they push the boundaries. Like, it's not like how it was years ago. There are always people who try different techniques and different things and apply different disciplines into the discipline of stop motion and push it forward. And rigging itself, like in this animation, this is what holds your object or puppet up in the air. And there are product designers who are actually manufacturing this, whether it is something like that is mass-produced, not mass-produced, but like made like for everyone, not custom-made. Or on a much bigger scale, if you take this on a much bigger scale, this was also one of Leica's movie, and they had a huge puppet where they had to animate. So designers had to design a whole mechanism and rig and engineer it in a way that they would be able to animate on this massive scale. So it's not just the puppet or the object that you see on the screen. There is a lot of layers that goes into this, whether it's inside the puppet or whatever you're using to hold up your puppet. You have to be continuously thinking of how to solve these problems, because every object is very different, and you have to customize something and solve that problem to be able to animate it in that way. And you're not just making the puppet itself, you're basically in stop motion, you're building a whole world. So a lot of designers and product designers, they work in the prop making and set dressing, where they make all the miniatures and the movie and the whole set. So you're basically creating like a whole world of things. So you can, if you're interested more in the conceptual work of product design and not, because you can do very unrealistic things and make them work in a movie. This is from the set of Corpse Bride. The animator is called Phildale. And this is it. I hope that from this presentation you get to see that product designers can work in so many different fields, and you can actually apply a lot of what you learned in another medium and push it forward and expand it and make it develop even more and more. Thank you.
Two questions. I think the first one you have addressed, because they're asking about how do you make things float, but you gave that in very detail, including telling us the name of that apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's by the rig.
Okay, then now another one. Your animation have very interesting narratives. May I know where the narratives are derived from? Is there a process of storyboarding, planning behind the animation, or was the animation derived from discovery? This is by Rahim.
From discovery. No, usually there is a lot of planning involved. I actually plan more than, like, I spend more time planning and designing things for the animation than actually animating. So the process usually goes like this, whether it's a personal project or I'm working with a client. I would have, like, for my own personal projects, I even make a brief for myself. So just like how it is in uni, every semester you'd have a project brief, I would make a brief for myself and work on and develop the concept that way. So I start with developing a concept, what I want to do, and I don't think of any limitations at the stage. And there is actually no limitations in stop motion. You can create anything you want. You can make all the, it's you're making illusions basically. So it doesn't need to be realistic. It doesn't need to be usable. There are no limitations. And after I come up with an idea, I differ a bit from other regular animators because I'm very hands-on and I like to make things. So I don't spend a lot of time like storyboarding unless the client asks for it. So I would present it as a storyboard. But if I'm doing a personal projects, I would just go on making things and testing it and see if it fails. Then I just amend things and test it and fix things and test it until I come up with, I really can see the idea in my head in real life.
Is your studio still, you're working alone, or do you have a team now?
I have a team of freelancers. So whenever I get a big project, I would have another animator with me. His name is Asim. I'd have freelancers as like sound designers and prop makers and miniature makers that work with me on big projects.
You mentioned just now that you say that you're not the only one. Is it a big community that you have doing stop motion?
No, no. In Egypt, we're actually only 6 people in all of Egypt. So it was a dying medium in Egypt because there isn't a lot of work in Egypt. But now, like in every field, people only this field grows when people actually see you making this. So people don't know that they need it until you actually present it to them. So when I started making all these animations and all other agencies started seeing, oh, this could be done and this is like there's someone who does that, now they want it. So now there's more stop motion work. And the world is not really limited to just Egypt. And I've always lived with this mentality that I can work with anyone, anywhere. If I want to learn something, and it's not in Egypt, I can still learn it from somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, even more so now with, I think the internet video conferencing has been getting much better. I think your client list might grow soon. Do you have I remember seeing you working on like an IKEA table. What are like those some of the works that you're really excited about that you can share with us?
Yeah, the IKEA thing was actually one of the very first projects I worked on like 4 years ago or something. And I animated one of their products being assembled on its own. I also worked for a lot of clients. Mainly, most of my clients are overseas, and they usually because they see this in my work that I was a product designer. Usually, they are product designers who make products, and they want people to see all the effort that goes into it and how it's made or how it comes together or how if it's an interesting different material. They want me to portray this in the way using stop motion. I've just finished actually one of my biggest projects, and I made an animation for Cartoon Network for Adult Swim. So this is huge for me. Yeah.
That's nice. Update me on that if it comes out.
Yes, it will be released soon.
For your youngest brothers and sisters who are still studying, perhaps moving on, going out to work soon. If they venture into this very creative industry that as you did, something that is not mainstream. How do you market yourself? How do you put your services out there? How do you make known to people and get clients, I guess?
You have to make a website, not just social media, but a website is very important. You have to learn how to document your project. So make use of this while you're at university. You have a chance to someone already handing you a brief, like all the lecturers are already giving you projects and you don't need to think of the idea itself or the brief itself. So make use of that and learn how to document and present your projects. Start a website, present your work there. It doesn't matter if no one even sees it at the beginning. Eventually, you'll get to spread your work and people will get to see it. People love to see how the process of, even if it's product design, graphic design, whatever the field is, people love to see the process of designing and all the sketches and how it developed into becoming the final version of it. Social media is very, very powerful now. And I don't know about product design, but in the stop motion field, people, the community is actually very, very helpful. So I've reached out to a lot of animators in very, very big companies, and I'd show them my work. I'd ask them to be my mentors or to give me advice on how to improve. And this is how it works. You need to connect with people, but do it in a way where you're not like using their time or wasting their time. So it's always like, if you can find this piece of information on Google, just Google first. And if it's something that you don't know, you can then reach out to someone. And when you network with some, like do online networking, always keep in mind that it's just like the goal should be like you want to know other people and not just want something from someone. So just make it a habit to reach out and connect with other people just to know them, like just to know what they do. And this is how all these relationships develop. I also market your work. I started when I was first starting, whenever I do a project, I send it out to online magazines and blogs. And if we post it, then more people see it. And I did this in one of my projects, and one person saw it in Germany. His name is Mark. And Mark is a conference organizer in Germany. And he reached out and he told me, Dina, I want you to speak about all the things you do. I have run this conference in Germany, and I'll just pay for your flight and stay and just come. I was like, okay, someone wants to pay me to go to Germany. Okay, I'll just go and present my work. And little did I know that this is was a huge opportunity for me, because from that conference, I got invited to 7 other conferences around the world. And I built this network of audiences and artists and designers and web developers. And I got to meet so many people, and I got so many jobs from this, from going to conferences and meeting all these different people and sharing my story. So you never know what small thing you'll do will end up being a huge thing in your life. So always like push your work out there, put it there, and you never know what's going to come out of it.
Right. Mostly people are excited about your work. They're saying it's interesting, it's cool, and they say, wow, even Kevin Perry followed her awesome career.
Yeah. I love Kevin Perry.
Yeah,
he's actually a very nice person.
Azari is giving a shout out to you. You remember Azari?
Yeah, thank you.
So congratulations, good. So last question before we end. So what next for dinner? What next?
Oh, I don't know. Like I really keep it open. I'm not putting any limitations. To me, I know that I don't want to be working in the advertising agency, but I continuously want to explore all the ideas in my head and make interesting projects with the companies wherever they are, and work on creative projects. I don't want to be just animating things. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll design a product. Maybe one day I'll I don't know, invent a meal. I have no idea. I'm really not keeping any limitations. Like I was so happy to that now I look at what I have reached, and I never imagined that I would reach that level in stop motion. And I'd love that one day I'd also look at what I've reached and see, wow, I didn't know that I could do this. So I'm keeping it open.
You started off very well with your you wanted to do something. So you were somewhat doing a social movement by your own, trying to get people to see what goes into, product making and the research and stuff, and it got you somewhere. So we're very proud of you, and we hope that
Thank you.
she, may get inspired by your work, and they can reach you. I've posted your link.
Yeah.
So much for joining us.
Thank
and
you.
for your time. It's 6 a.m. in there, right? So sorry you had to wake up early.
No, it's okay. Now it's 10 already.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dina. We'll keep in
you.
touch. Okay,
Yes.
everyone. With that, we have reached the end of our webinar. So as we reflect on the role of institution in helping to bring design, specifically in industrial design, to where it is today, we acknowledge that time has changed and is changing. So when institutions begin to produce graduates, they set out to create industries. These graduates set out creating industries, and then soon we have our people equipped with the knowledge and the skills filling into these industries. Then we saw the advent of entrepreneurial minds amongst a lot of different levels of design expertise. We have level employees becoming employees to becoming employers with very enterprising spirits. And then we have fresh graduates who are charging into the industry, creating very vibrant gig economy we see today. So respected seniors, fellow colleagues, and beloved students, we, in this contemporary design scene that we see today, it was written in textbook as the age of plurality. So contemporary design was an age of plurality where mostly anything goes. That was the concept they had back then. So we come to this age where it is so uncertain, and it is made even more amplified by the pandemic. So the question is, what lies tomorrow? And perhaps extreme pluralism, or perhaps we return to the very structured, siloed, directed, very focused design of the 70s. We have no idea. Collectively, they provided varieties of perspective for us to reflect on, and especially on the many faceted design opportunities as we see it now, and also towards the new frontier. So with that, I thank you on behalf of Industrial Design Department. We thank you for being with us and enjoying our webinar. We have another webinar series scheduled for, I think, on the 18th next week. We'll keep you updated in social media if you follow us. So last but not least, as we stay home, avoid the 3C and keep to the 3W, right? So stay safe, everybody. We look forward to the day where we can meet again physically. Some of the students we haven't even met at all. Right, thank you, and see you. Bye-bye. Thank you Kak Muna, thank you Cik Nizam. Thank you Azari.
Thank you guys for the
And
opportunity.
Thank you, Nat.
Linda is managing backstage.
Dalam chat room tu dah ada dah tu. Isi apa tu nama? Feedback.
Alright, yeah.
Attendance.
Thank you Kak Muna, lama tak jumpa. Thank you Cik Nizam kalau ada lagi. Thank you Dina.
Thank you everybody.
Bye.
Idea sampai meeting just now actually. I got a meeting.
Ingat tutup slide ni kita ambil gambar sekejap.
Alright.
Kita just snap ni. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Just snap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Lagi sekali. 1, 2, 3.
Cik Nizam tahu lah tak kacau.
Alright.
Tengok kacak ni Cik Nizam. Aduh kacak sangat ni tak tengok slide ni tadi. Aduh jam betul.
Kita belakang tu. Buat gambar belakang tu.
Ada Star Wars aku kalau kau nak tengok.
Hei, tak tengok tahu.
Cakap lah tu. Hanya biar aja buka belakang tu. Tengok Star Wars semua tu. Ramai ni sampai cecah semua. Tapi dalam Facebook dia kuat ni sikit lah. Ikut pada line juga lah. Ramai student.
Next question bila?